What a beautiful song to start our gathering of love tonight. And true, if there is only love, there is nothing to heal. So good evening to everyone and greetings of peace and love to all of you, our brothers and sisters. So in behalf of the Bahrain Meditation Center, we wish to thank you for choosing to spend this precious time with us. We also wish to acknowledge the presence of our brothers and sisters in the Zoom Arabic translation, with Sister Awati doing the translation. And likewise, those who are joining us via the YouTube. And of course, this would not have been a possible gathering of love without the presence of our dearly beloved speaker, our sister, Sister Aruna Ladva. Aruna Ladva. So it's good to see you. Yeah, happy Valentine, belated. Yeah, anyway.
Happy Valentine's to everyone.
Yeah. So at some point or time in our lives, we may have to go through certain forms of healing. Healing the body, healing the mind and the heart, or even healing relationships. Tonight, our beloved sister, Aruna, will share her valuable insights on the healing power of love. For most of us, we may have been connected with Aruna through her inspiring retreats, through her motivating talks, and also, of course, some of you might still have with you in your library a number of the books that she has authored, which is the It's About Time series, among others that we may have been in contact with her. In other words, she's not really new to us. Currently, Aruna is the coordinator of the Meditation Center in Kuwait. But for us here in Bahrain, she has a special place in our heart because she is our mother, one of the pioneers who have made this Bahrain Meditation Center possible, and we have come this far. So this truly is our gift from this special soul. As a meditator for over 40 years, at a very young age, she has learned to navigate her life in the most positive way. She is one special soul who is in love with God, in love with life, in love with humanity. And we shall experience for this time of how it is, how she have come with such kind of power to attain success. So let's all welcome, join me to welcome our dear sweet sister Aruna, who will color the night, okay, with love and with the healing power of love. Welcome and welcome and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Always you give such a lovely. Thank you so much. And
okay.
You. I know that now on Zoom there's so much available, but the fact that you made time to be with us, a warm welcome to all of you. So yes, such an interesting topic, and you know, anytime I have to give a talk on a subject, I start experimenting with it, and particularly on the day. And I can really honestly speak with conviction that love heals, right? Love truly heals. So I will begin with one story of my relationship with Dadi Janki. Dadi Janki passed away last year, 27th of March, at the age of 104. And she was the head of the Brahma Kumaris meditation movement. And I had a close relationship with her, but I noticed that any time like I needed fixing, anytime she had to tell me something, she did it with so much love that you couldn't feel the law with it. So this is the first point I want to begin with, is when we talk about the healing power of love, merged in that love is the law, is the spiritual law. It's not just that the mother keeps loving the child and saying, okay, do whatever you want, and eat as many sweets as you want, or stay out late as you want. That is not love. Love is always balanced with law. So as I say, my sweet memories of Dadi Janki were that she would correct me, she would tell me that's not right, or don't do that. But at the end, we were left with a feeling of being loved. And I think that was always an important lesson or factor in when we are trying to correct a situation or trying to help a person. And in 1967, yes, 1967, the Beatles came up with this song, right? Which was actually the movement against the Vietnamese War. And the song was Love is All You Need. So isn't love all we need? Just ask yourself, isn't love all we need? And yet, what stops us from loving? What stops us from loving? So sometimes we say the opposite of love is fear. Because if you didn't fear, you would love. But because we are afraid, then we, in a way, close the doors and we keep a distance and we close off our heart, and then we're not able to allow that love to flow. So what is actually going to heal our hearts is the flow of love. See, this is another important point. If I cannot give love, okay, I'm going to say it slowly so the translators can keep up. If I cannot give love, that means I don't have any to give. If you can't give somebody $10, $100, it's because you don't have it to give. Okay, don't have it to give not only means I don't have the money, but I don't have the will. I don't have the compassion. In other words, I don't want to give it. Even if I have it, I don't want to give it. So it's like not giving it. So when we talk of the flow of love, I have to have so much love within me that, I always say this, like I'm telling our students here, do I have enough love to give the 7.8 billion souls of the world? Even if it's just a drop, okay? Even if it's just a drop of love, do I have enough love to give 7.8 billion souls? Okay, forget 7.8 billion. Do I have enough for my country? Do I have enough for my friend circle? Do I have enough for my family? We cannot even give love to our immediate family members. So why not? Anyway, before I move into that, I wanted to tell you something interesting I came across today. And it seems to be a good book, which you might like to read. I was reading some of it online. It's a book by Stephen Post, which is called Unlimited Love. And he makes a very interesting point. And he's saying that, there are hundreds and thousands of articles published on crime, on schizophrenia, on depression, and the effect of this on crime, and why people end up being in jail, etc. But he says there are only a few studies done on selfless love or unselfish love. And this is what he's trying to advocate in the book, that if we can do more studies, spend more time, more money on trying to understand the effects of pure love, then wouldn't the world be a better place? In other words, whatever we put our energy to, that, I mean, whatever we put our attention to, that is what we give our energy to. And then that's what grows, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, life grows. So we spend a lot of time on fixing that which has gone wrong, or we spend a lot of time on the negative aspects of society. But what about spending that much time and energy on the pure aspects, the divine aspects of how the community can flourish when we work together? And a similar story by this Pitrim Sorokin, who's an American, well, he was Russian and then became American. He's a sociologist. And he's saying the same thing. He's saying that, so many studies are done on criminal behavior. And but we've neglected to research the positive types of Homo sapiens. And in other words, what makes a good saint? What makes a saint a good saint? What makes a neighbor a good neighbor? And he said, we study very little about this, and because we don't study it, it doesn't evolve, right? It doesn't flourish. In other words, again, it's not getting attention. So this is a bit like, we try to stop the crime, but we're not making equal effort to expand the love. And this is what I'm trying to say is, we've been there, we've done that. Now, how about us focusing on spreading, emanating spiritual love? So yes, back to what I was saying earlier. How am I going to get this love? How am I going to fill myself with love? Okay, let's accept, okay, I don't have love. Okay. Well, we have tried to get love from here and this one and that one, but it's never going to fill the soul. This is the problem. It's never fulfilling enough. So the only source of love is up there, the Supreme, God, or however you want to term this being. But this Supreme, okay, is the ocean of love. Now, how do I know? You will ask me, how do I know? How do I know? It's because I have experienced it. I cannot convince you in any other way except to tell you that when I sit in meditation, and firstly, I become positive, my thoughts become very positive, and then I connect with this Supreme Being as an equally positive being, but a powerful being. I see them as my parent, God as the Supreme Father, Supreme Mother, and God as the one constant. God never runs out of love. So then I'm taking that power just by sitting. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just sitting, right? Under this, you can say fountain, or under this light. But my job is to just be still. My job is to not think too much, or not think at all, actually, but just stay in one powerful thought. It's really like a surgery that takes place. When you're on that operating table, you cannot, sing and dance. You have to be still. So in meditation, we are trying to not just create the physical stillness, right? I shouldn't be going like this, like, oh, what's happening now? No, that's still, I'm being distracted. Same with my thought. I'm just connected to one. That is concentration. That is meditation. And interestingly enough, the word meditation has the root, same root as medication, right? So it all comes from the same Latin, which is Madeira, which means to heal. So meditation is that tool for healing. Okay, this is how I'm trying to explain to you. So when we sit in meditation, we take power from God, we fill ourselves up, and the best time to do this in the early morning. When I fill myself up in the morning, then I have enough to give. Because we do run out, everything runs out, right? So yes, I run out in the morning, I sit again. Of course, you can sit throughout the day, you can sit any time of the day, but because you know that you've got a whole day ahead of you, and there's going to be many challenges. So then I sit in meditation, I take the power, and then I'm ready for the day. I'm happy. See, this is the thing. When we don't feel full, when we don't feel that we have enough of whatever we need, whether it's food or money, whatever, then we start getting depressed. We start getting upset with life. We start thinking life is against us. Life is conspiring some, conspiracy against me. But when I have enough of everything, I'm at peace. I'm okay. I'm happy. But here we're talking about not money. Here we're talking about the soul being full. So when I have, then I'm able to give. Okay. I want to talk about all these different professions. I was thinking today, what are all the different professions that share love through their profession in different ways? And maybe you can, come up, and maybe if you want, you can write some down in the chat. So nurses, right? A job of a nurse is a labor of love. They literally, stand there. And because I remember the nurses that were around my mother when she wasn't well. And of course, she passed away. But just, how much they were doing for somebody that teachers, I'll come to that. So they were really treating my mom with so much love because they knew how, they knew how to handle a body, a heavy body, etc. We didn't have those skills. So that's, a labor of love. Yes, teachers give so much time and attention. Of course, with nurses, there are doctors, helpers, okay, you can say this is my maid, but, I'm sure half the time she's doing it because she loves you and not because she has to do it. And then you can tell the difference. I've seen the difference when a gardener, loves the garden and does it, or just does it as a job, as a chore. Right? So you can tell when we put so much love into something, the result is different. The success is different. Okay? What about mothers? Right? We always forget to mention mothers because we just assume that mothers, have to cook and clean and look after us. But mothers are always special, and mothers always put love into everything. That's why we always love our mothers cooking. Right? You'll ask your wife, or you'll ask whoever to make the same thing your mother made, and what will you say? It doesn't taste like mom's cooking. Because mom had put that extra ingredient of love. I'm reminded of this story. Let me share it with you. So the story is that there was a brother and a sister coming home from school, and it started raining. And so the brother had an umbrella and the girl didn't. And so the brother said, well, it could be either way, but as per the story. So the brother's, constantly nagging at her and saying, why didn't you bring your umbrella? You're always forgetting. You never remember. I always have to do this for you. And then when they get home, then the father says again, look, again, you didn't take your umbrella. You never listen to what I have to say. Constantly criticizing this girl. Then she goes to her mother, and the mother says, oh dear, why did it have to rain today? So she didn't pick on the girl. She didn't tell the girl it's her problem that she forgot again. You know, she didn't highlight her weakness, her defect, but she diverted it to the rain. And that's the difference between the mother's love and anybody else's love, which is in a way very healing. So, yes, okay. So we take this love from God, okay? Anyway, yeah, there could be other professions. Sorry, I can't really read very well without my glasses. But feel free, we can talk about it at the end. So then we have, yes, we have all this love, okay? And think about it. When you do have so much of something, then you just want to give it. That is the other side of the coin. You cannot help but give it. You know, if you are very happy, you cannot hide your happiness. You can't say, oh, I'm not going to show my happiness now. No, it'll just be evident, right? From your face, from your behavior, your whole vibration will be that you're happy. In the same way, if you're depressed, your vibration will be that you're depressed. So when you do have a lot of something, then it's so easy to share it. But how can this love heal the self? Let's talk about that for a few moments. See, when I take love from God, the first thing that happens to me is that I feel worthy enough to take from God. I feel worthy. I feel I can. I feel I'm able to receive. Because this is always one of the first blocks, that how could anybody possibly love me? How can God love me? Because I have so many flaws. But this is where God's love is. Unconditional love is selfless love. And really, God loves me as I am. Whatever I'm like, God loves me. And not only I believe that, but as I said, you will feel it. As you sit peacefully, you will feel this. You will feel it as a vibration in the soul. Okay? So here, God loves me. I take the love and I start to love myself. I start to love all aspects of myself. What is another meaning for love? Another way of saying I love you is I accept you. Another meaning of love is I respect you. Right? Another meaning of love is I don't judge you. Right? So when I take this love from God and I start to build a respect, then confidence, now my confidence is visible through my actions. I'm able to do things very well and life flows. Right? Let me share another story with you about the founder of the organization. And there's so many stories around him. Founder of the Brahma Kumaris, Brahma Baba. There's so many stories around him of how much love he gave to everyone that really brought out the best in them. So there was one boy, you can say, boy, and must be, in his 20s, but he wasn't very bright and he didn't know how to do many things. And he came and he wanted to stay in that campus. And he just wanted to be of service to humanity. And so Brahma Baba felt, well, what to do with him because he doesn't have many skills. But at the same time, Brahma Baba wanted to help him. So Brahma Baba said, okay, we will try and find something for him to do. So they came up with this idea that he will make the morning chai for everyone, right? So there's normally morning chai in the morning, early morning, and then chai at 4:00 in the afternoon. But now they had another problem, and that is that he couldn't tell the time. So he didn't know what is 4 a.m. He doesn't know what is 4 p.m. So again, they spent time teaching him how to learn to read the clock. And he did this so timely every day that everybody loves him. Like, who doesn't love somebody who gives you a hot cup of chai? Like, everybody loves you if you right? Have the chai ready for them. So he was just so useful, right? Somebody that you might think was not so useful in society, suddenly he had so much importance now, and he was happy, he was good, he was happy. And there's so many stories like this of how Brahma Baba saw something and then just, emerged that. It's like planted the seed and then emerged that quality, and that soul truly blossomed. So again, I want you to see that when I develop, this self-confidence, then it gives me the power to do what I need to do in life. It gives me the power to forgive. It gives me the power to let go. How do we heal relationships? Is when I have the power to forgive and forget. Actually, I'd written on my Facebook, right? The only way to forget is to forgive, right? Normally we say forgive and forget. But the only way to forget, I turned it around. The only way to forget is to forgive. So when I have these powers, when I have that confidence, as I said, to give pure love, to be kind, to think positive, to give you the benefit of the doubt, this is all healing. And the first person it's healing is me. I mean, even in this word forgive, it has the word for, F-O-R-E, which means first, right? We say foremost, right? So for, F-O-R-E means first. So first give to yourself. When I give to myself, when I understand I have to love myself first, I have to forgive myself for what I did wrong in this relationship. Because every relationship is 50-50, right? It's not always one person. So I did something, they did something, and then there's a conflict. So let me at least accept my 50% and say, okay, I forgive myself for whatever, stepping into that situation, for whatever, saying that comment, thinking like this. First, let me really forgive myself. And that's the healing. Okay? Now, secondly, when I'm giving the love, again, I have to be a little bit like God, where it has to be constant love. Right? Not love today and not tomorrow. This is not going to work. I love you today, but tomorrow I don't know. No, that doesn't work. It has to be constant love. But make it constant in whatever way you can, in however way you can. So even if it's 5% every day, that's great, but at least it's constant. Okay? But just be constant, because constant, implies a certain stability in the soul. If I'm not constant, then what happens? I'm going up and down, right? And then you're moody, and then nobody knows where you're at, what you're thinking, and again, not good. So yeah, let there be this constant love. And just last point in terms of the self. So yeah, really to truly love and accept my whole self, right? Which is mind, body, and spirit. So a big part of loving myself is just, and there's many stories on this and many studies on this, that when I truly love a certain part of me, whether it's my whatever, my big thighs, or my overweight, or my failing kidney, or whatever, my BP, whatever it is, when I truly love that, then I start to send it that healing energy. Because think about it, if it's not that loving, healing energy, then it's probably a cursing energy. Right? So every time you think of your hip, you say, oh, terrible hip. Oh, how dare it, oh, it hurts and I wish it wouldn't. And, it's a negative cursing energy, and that doesn't help in your healing process. But if you just truly, just learn to love, all aspects of yourself, and say, yeah, whether it's the body, whether it's the mind. Okay, you say, okay, I had an arrogant thought. Oh, I had a jealous thought. Oh, that was a possessive thought. Okay, acknowledge and then let go. Acknowledge and then let go. Body, accept, love. Really. Like I used to say to my belly, I love you, I love you, I love you. You know, they used to laugh at me, but you know, it does work. You have to first learn to love before it can change. Yeah. You can't, what's the word? You can't treat it with hatred. Nothing changes when you treat it with hatred. So love is the key. Love is the acceptance, right? Love is that light. Okay, so now here I am, a very self-confident person. I love myself, everything. And then I can start to love others. This is the key now. I can start to give to you. I have enough for not only me, I have enough for you as well. I can share. And then this is how, you know, these communities are built. Loving communities are built. But what happens in a community where there is a conflict is I want from you, the other one says I want from you, and nobody's got anything to give, and then there's just war. As we said, there's conflict. Right? But when I have, and I'm giving to you, even though you cannot give to me in this moment, then there'll still be some peace. Okay, so you shout at me, but I choose to keep my peace and calm because I have peace and calm inside of me. Then there is peace between us. There's no tension, there's no conflict. Now, if two people have peace, even though there is a dispute, even though there is differences, but this one will say politely, kindly, this one will say with respect, and things get solved amicably. And then there is peace again. You see the difference? So when we have inside to give, we can give. But the first step is to be able to take from up there, take from God. Really, don't try and take from others. Don't try, really, first step, don't expect from anyone. Don't try and wait or want anything from anyone. We're setting ourselves up for sorrow when we do that. And I mean any kind of expectation. Don't even expect them to bring you a glass of water. Nothing, nado, nothing. Don't want anything from anybody. That's truly how you can keep yourself happy. And yeah, I've learned my lessons through this, and I'm sure you have. So let's stop. Let's stop putting this heavy burden on others. Okay, which I have set up, right? So here I expect from you, I put this burden of expectation. You have to give, you have to give, you don't give. Now I'm unhappy. Now you have to make me happy. Only you can make me happy. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. But let me live in my world, be happy doing what I can, give where I can, make a difference where I can, and where I can't, I let go. I let go, really, and I be at peace. So don't expect, really, I mean it, I'm being very firm, don't expect from others, truly. If you want to heal your soul, don't put that burden on anybody else. Even though they may be your husband, your wife, your children. No, again, people say, but he should at least do this. There's no at least. No, there's no justification. If he wants to do it, he'll do it. If he doesn't, it's okay. But I want to be free. I choose to, create these, let's say, parameters in my mind because I choose to be happy. Okay? I'm not here to fix anybody. Okay, so here I am now, having good, loving relationships with others. Because I'm healed, I'm able to heal others. or at least I'm able to guide them. Now we have 2 healed people, right, living in community together. And then they can also go and help to heal others. And then this is how we create a better world. And how do we heal the planet? How do we learn to heal the world? Well, who created this mess in the first place? And it was us. We messed up the planet. We threw so much garbage because of, our desires. We wanted luxury. We wanted comfort. I mean, look at all the packaging. Do we need all that packaging in our gifts, in our flowers, whatever? When we buy something, do we need all that paper and plastic? So, in order to live this extravagant life, we created all this. And now all of that is in the sea or in the earth. And then we wonder why there are no trees growing, why there are no fish. So how are we going to heal the planet? And that's with our love. We have to now love Mother Earth. We have to love nature and not strip her. We have literally stripped Mother Earth of all her resources. So how can she have dignity now? We have to help bring dignity back to planet Earth, Mother Earth, and say, okay, I'll only take that which I need from you. I don't want anything extra. So when I have that kind of respect, then again, everything starts to grow. I noticed in this house where we moved to, it's a small house, but it has a bit of garden, a big garden. And there's lots of palm trees, and there's quite a few neem trees and lots of other plants, lots of bougainvillea. And I noticed that there are so many birds chirping in the morning. And this is a fact that where you have greenery, where you have this fauna and foliage, birds will come, they will thrive. This is where they will feel comfortable building their nest. So we just have to create the perfect environment for the animals, and they will come. Right? We also saw this through the pandemic, Corona pandemic, when everybody was locked in, all the animals were out. All the animals were like looking in through the windows to us as though we're in the zoo, right? So when you give them that freedom, they will thrive. But again, we have to live simply. How are we going to heal the planet is to love every creature. And we have to not be arrogant that this is my world, this is my planet, and it's for me to take. No, we have to live together with everything. We're here to share the planet together. So when I have that big heart to want to live together, to accommodate, to adjust, be flexible, really that's when we can create very healthy community. And as I said in the beginning, it's not just this lovey-dovey kind of love. It has to be a very spiritual, divine love. And spiritual, divine love has its parameters, has its boundaries. So love means give space. Love means don't suffocate. Yes, love means don't judge. Love means to accept this person for whatever they're like. What is real spiritual love is seeing the soul and to know that the soul in its original state has all these beautiful qualities. Because when everything starts off fresh and new, it has everything. It's full. It's a bit like the seed, right? The seed has the potential for the whole tree. So the soul is like this, it has all the qualities. Then once the soul takes a body, starts to live, I begin to express, like the tree has its branches, the soul starts to express all my qualities in the soul. But in the original state, it's all there. Okay? So I am truth, and I am love, and I am peace, and I am happiness. By my original nature, I am these qualities. But why is it that I lose the happiness? Because something takes it away, something replaces it. I start off by loving, right? But then something happens and then I stop loving. I start off with trust, but then something happens and my trust is, well, it's gone. But I start off with these qualities, right? Nobody starts off with hate or distrust. They only start off like that when they've had some experience. So this is the other point I want to make, is that I have to, when any situation happens, I want you to end that situation with a loving feeling. No matter what the situation is, really. But somehow in your mind, you have to turn it around and start creating loving feelings, firstly for yourself, then for that person, and then for the situation. Find your way, really. Because when you then reflect back on that situation, you want to be able to remember the loving feeling. Because only that will heal, or only that will work. If you're left with some negative experience, then what do you remember when you look back? Is only that negative experience. So find a lesson that you've learned through that. Or say to yourself, again, without beating yourself up, but say to yourself, yeah, I could have done that better. And really turn it around. So your last experience, your last memory is a very positive one. And this is also very useful. I'm not sure what the time is. Okay. Okay. The thoughts. I wanted to talk a little bit about thoughts, actually. Yeah. So we talked about meditation and that, but before we do get into meditation now, I want us to really learn how our thoughts can heal ourselves. So firstly, of course, really try to avoid negative thoughts. No negative thought has a purpose. And negative thoughts are just so damaging to the body, to the soul. And it's never just one negative thought, is it? It's always more than one. So the more negative thoughts you have, the more the energy is, depleting from the soul. But if you have one positive thought, one is enough. You can just say, I'm a peaceful soul. That's it. Full stop. There's no if or but or why or no. So healing the self, right? How can love firstly create thoughts of love? In fact, let's do this in a meditation. Can we do that? Let's Deepak, can you play some music? Let's do this in a form of meditation. I'll speak slowly, and I want you to just experience the power of your thoughts. And this energy is just such a pure, kind energy. It's a transformative. Light reminds me of my original self when I was full. And now, drop by drop, I'm becoming full once again. I'm becoming whole once again. Pieces of my heart are being glued back together again. I'm able to let go. I'm able to forgive. I'm able to love those who were my enemies. And I promise to return back fountain again and again. Shanti. So you can just do these meditations um, really throughout the day, as I said, to just top up. But I wanted to, before we take the questions, Ansia, I really wanted to share something from this. I didn't want to share it earlier, but I really want you to have this information. And this is a paper by Kirsten Zetmar, and her paper is How Love Heals. And it's a very interesting paper. Anyway, one of the things she starts, she introduces quantum physics and quantum mechanics. And she's basically saying how this physicist, Niels Bohr, right, in 1928, he said that when two subatomic particles are connected, they remained cognizant, which means aware. They remain cognizant of and influenced by each other forever. For instance, when one of the particles changed magnetic orientation, so from here they went here, okay? It influenced the other in the same or the opposite direction, regardless of how far they are separated geographically or how much time has elapsed since they were in physical contact. Okay, and this theory is called entanglement. You might want to read up on it. But how does that translate into everyday language? Okay. And so she shares the story. Okay, she shares the story of how she was working with a person, a client. She does healing therapy. So she was working with this client. And during the day, this client started to have these thoughts that Kirsten was being burnt. And of course, she was feeling bad that, I'm having these thoughts. But then Kirsten had to change the appointment. So she phoned her and said, well, I have to change the appointment because my hand got burnt. So you see how the two people are working together and they start to influence each other. This is what, in essence, this is saying. And then another experiment here also says, this was a recent experiment in 2005, where from Bastyr University and the University of Washington, they got together, they got 30 couples who had strong emotional and psychological connections, okay? And some of them also meditated, they say. So the couples were split up and put in different rooms 10 meters away from each other with EEG amplifier wired to their brain. And the moment, okay, so this is what they were asked to do. So the person in one room were given some trigger, emotional trigger, and they wanted to see, does the other person pick it up? And of course, they did. Okay, so here's the proof, right? Okay, so the Bastyr study represents a major breakthrough in research on direct mental influence. It demonstrated that the brainwave response of the sender to the stimulus is mirrored in the receiver, right? So this, what happens there is mirrored here. And that stimulus in the receiver is in an identical place in the brain of the sender. It's the same place it's triggered, right? So same emotion, same everything. Anyway, there's lots of other interesting information in there, but I just want to end with this by saying that really when we start thinking positive and when we start, being powerful individuals, and then we're in the presence of another individual, then we're able to influence them. But if we are weak and powerless, then of course, whoever has the greater influence will influence the other. So let us only create, this is my last message really, let us only create thoughts of love, let us only create thoughts of compassion, because when we're in that space, we are very powerful. We are vibrating on a very high hertz, right? That was another paper I shared in another talk, where our vibrational frequency is very high. And in that high vibrating frequency, we have a very high immunity. So really the only space to be in is to be in the energy of pure love. Okay, yes, Ansia, I'm happy to take some questions now.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. Om Shanti, everybody.
Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Aruna.
Does everybody would you like to turn on your camera?
Can you hear me, sister?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you see the camera?
We can't see you.
Can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah.
All right. Om Shanti.
Yes, Om Shanti.
So good to see you, sister. It has been such a long time. First of all, I would like to thank you for such an inspiring talk. Very powerful, a lot of meaning, a lot of wisdom. Definitely, you've been a great coach. to a lot of people. You inspired a lot of people. You've been doing great service to the whole world.
Thank you, brother. I think everybody has to know who you are. So this is Ibrahim, and he is the president. Well, he used to be the president of the Bahrain Meditation Center. He's a very close friend and very active in society, and really been a great support from the start of our work in the Middle East. So thank you so much for being with us. I didn't know you were listening.
Thank you, sister. Continue. God bless you. Om Shanti, sister, once again. Om Shanti, everybody. I would like to thank you, Sister Aruna, thanking you for all, not only for this particular lecture, but for all the great things you've been doing, not to us in Bahrain and not for Kuwait, but for the whole world. You've been touring the world. In fact, you played a very important role, I have to convince, in my personal life as well, and convincing me and encouraging me to go into this path, which is a great path, the path of meditation and the road of the BKs, and getting closer to Daddy Janki and learn so much from her, and learning from so much from Sister Aruna. Once again, the reason for me just to pop in, just to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to you personally, Sister Aruna, and to all the team in Bahrain and all the team in Kuwait for playing such a great noble role in helping others. Thank you once again, and Om Shanti, and good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making the time. Bless you.
Thank you so much, Sister Aruna. So it was wonderful having you, and it was really wonderful sharings which you have given us. So there are a few questions for you. So what is the difference between love and attachment? So this is one of the questions. What is the difference between love and attachment?
Okay, in essence, a quick response. So in love, there is no pain. In attachment, there is pain and sorrow. If there's real love, right? We say this, if there's real love, you set them free. But if there is attachment, then it's like you're suffocating them, you're strangling them, because you don't want them to leave because of your vacuum. So in essence, yeah, if I'm feeling any pain or discomfort, then know that there is some attachment. And so attachment means what? Attachment means I'm attached to the outcome of this relationship. That's attachment. Attachment means that, I want them to come out a particular way. Like, for example, if a mother has attachment to her children, she has certain expectations of how her child should be, or should grow up, or reflect the family name or whatever. This is attachment. There's always some outcome, expected outcome in attachment. But when there is love, it's just freeing, it's liberating. Don't need anything, don't want anything, just love you for what you are. I think that's what I will say.
Thank you. There is another question, which is someone asking from the Arabic room. So how to love your body? Any part of the body, it could be how to love your own body. So this is one of the questions.
So as I was saying earlier, yeah, you focus on that part of the body and your meditation, and it's like you can even touch it, So like actually, I was practicing this for eyesight, so I don't have to wear glasses. But let's say, for example, eyesight, okay? So maybe you sit with yourself quietly in a room, and maybe you just, give this loving attention, not just with your thoughts, but also with your hands or any other part of your body. Say your neck hurts, your shoulders, whatever. Like, just give it that loving attention, and then you speak to it, and you speak to it. So for the eyes, I would say, wow, you have helped me to see the world. You are amazing. I love you. Yeah, I mean, just do a little commentary like that. How this part of your body, right, has been so helpful to you achieving whatever you've achieved. So be in gratitude, be appreciative, and just 5-7 minutes, just sit, I mean, really, literally, I have done this. I'm not just preaching now. And then another important part, the second half of this, is then you have to learn to detach. So, okay, I did that, okay? And now try to kind of step away. Then you look down at the body. And then you say, okay, this is just my instrument. I am not the body. So there's that second part to it where I have to learn the detachment aspect as well. So love from here, but then love from here, from a bit of detachment. Thank you.
Thank you. So another question here is, the mind has so many thoughts, some positive and some negative. But these are the thoughts, and how do I stop the negative thoughts?
See, there's always going to be some thoughts in the mind. The mind cannot stop thinking. So it has to be a practice. It's like the mind is a muscle, and you have to exercise that muscle, right? With my arm, I have to exercise this muscle, otherwise it'll just do what it wants to do. So I have to practice positive thoughts. This is what we're doing in meditation, practicing positive, powerful thoughts. And I sit, first you might like to write. If you're not used to it, then write 10 positive thoughts. What a wonderful day. I have a happy life. I'm so grateful. Everything comes to me easily. I'm successful. I'm determined, whatever, right? Write some thoughts like this down. And then read them. And then don't read them, but whatever you remember, just repeat them in your mind. And this is how you replace the negative. See, first practice in your meditation how to have positive thinking, and then it will naturally overflow into your life. So next time something happens, you'll immediately, your reflex will be to think positive because you practiced it. You've got your mind, working in that way. And so you will jump to the positive then. But it is a practice. You have to do it every day, really like your exercises, and discipline the mind. And yeah, if you find it going to something negative, then we have to learn to kind of, nip it in the bud, like trim it. So you see that, oh, you're starting to think about this situation. Or even like, say, for example, somebody hasn't come home yet. Our immediate thought is to think negative. Maybe they've had an accident or something. The other day, somebody who comes, they weren't coming. I mean, they didn't come on time. And then we tried calling them. And of course, we practiced at this now to think positive, and we say there must be a reason and all this. But it turns out that they didn't have credit in the phone. So it was something so simple, you see. But here we get all worried and stressed when there's something so simple going on. So we first have to practice positive thinking, keeping ourselves calm, and the situation will turn out mostly okay.
Okay. The next question is, how can we vibrate deliberately at a higher frequencies? the whole process of how to raise your vibration?
Yeah, really, I'm working on this as well. I'm really experimenting. But the only way is through thought. Only positive, powerful thought. We cannot allow an iota of negative thinking, impure thinking, waste thinking. No, pure thought. Have you thought, what is a pure thought? Think about it. Think about it for yourself. What is an absolutely pure thought? There's no negativity, no poison, nothing in it. So when I'm constantly thinking positive, powerful thoughts, then I am vibrating on a very high frequency. So like I was sharing, I don't know, this talk or another, with BMC or somewhere else, regarding the vibrational frequencies. So when people get afraid of corona, we start vibrating at like 6.6, around 6 hertz. And corona is around 2 to 7 hertz. But when I'm in pure spiritual awareness and vibrating with pure spiritual love, that's like 200 hertz. Imagine the difference. So when I'm in that frequency, my immunity is high. So even if there is corona, I will have the power to, conquer it. So it's only through thought, powerful thought, all the time, constantly powerful thoughts, all the time. This is the thing.
Thank you. So the next question is, you mentioned that no matter how unpleasant the situation has been, but create a good memory out of it. How can this be done in a situation where a coworker has been arrogant and chooses to lie, trying to put you down? So how to change this whole aspect into a good memory?
Well, you see, negative people, negative situations always teach us how we should not be negative and what's the feeling at the other end. So that's always the first lesson, is how not to be like them, right? So that's a big lesson they're teaching us, that when I'm negative, I'm not going to have any friends. Okay, then trying to turn this situation around. So, okay, as I said, I look at myself and I ask myself, okay, did I do anything to provoke this situation? And say the answer is no, I didn't. Okay, if I didn't do anything to provoke the situation, then let me create a mental distance. Mental distance means try not to think about it. Now see if you can do this. See if you can now send that person good wishes. If you can send somebody good wishes despite their negativity, then you have won. This is what you have to remember. You lose if they are negative and they make you negative. So really think about it. I want to win because I want to stay in my peace. I'm not going to allow them to rattle my peace. You see? So stay in your power, send them good wishes, like the Christ thing, forgive them for they don't know what they're doing. And you have to stay powerful. You have to not lose your peace and not lose your happiness. Then you have come out winner of the situation. And let them carry on doing what they're doing. We cannot change anybody else. Don't try and change them. That's not your objective. My objective is to just stay in my power. And if I've done that, then I've won. Right? I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, it's very good answer. Perfect. So the next question is, it's from the Arabic room. It's not so clear, but I think if you can understand how to spread the reassurance in the presence of corona, means to be assured, like it will all be fine, we will be okay, and how to experience that particular reassurance in these corona times.
Yeah, well, it will be fine. I mean, we've been through so much more than this before. And a big part of the population is alive. So just see the positives, you know, and everybody's now learned how to wash their hands and what is bacteria, and everybody's, you know, increased their level of hygiene. Just look at all the positives. So yeah, I'm not saying that it's not there. Corona is there, yes, or some virus is there, whatever we want to call it. But let me continue to build my immunity. And if I'm doing that, then I will be safe. So it's not just physical immunity, like it's not just washing the hands and wearing the mask and the gloves, but mentally too. You can wear the mask and the gloves, but inside you're paranoid and you're scared, and you know that then, you know, I'm sorry, but yeah, you may catch it. So it's both. It's the mental hygiene and mental strength, and as well as, you know, physical precaution. So everything has to come together. And just say to yourself, this might help you, and this is helping me, that it's just not my karma. You know, you can say that to yourself. I'm not going to leave with corona. Corona is not my karma. How about that? Say that to yourself. I'm not going to get corona because I'm not going to die with that sickness.
Okay, this is the last question. How can I work inside of me, means on myself, through meditation?
How can I work on myself?
Through meditation. This
Yes.
is
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the constant effort actually. When I meditate, I am working on myself. See, meditation is an act of great love for the self. The fact that I take time out to be with myself, to give myself loving attention. This is the real love, isn't it? What is the greatest valuable thing at the moment is time. Nobody has time for anyone. People sometimes used to come to our center only because we listen to them. They say nobody listens to us at home. They weren't learning meditation. They just wanted to talk, and we are listening. We were good listeners. But at the end, you know, I have to sit with myself. I have to learn to listen to myself. I need to learn to talk to myself. You see? So getting to know myself is also checking myself. Okay, when this happens, how am I responding? Could I have responded better? Could I have used other words to say the same thing? Could my vibration have been better? Could my tone have been better? Right? So constant self-checking, self-reflection. And we're doing that all the time, every day. On this path of spiritual study, we are checking ourselves every day. And then we have discussions around it every morning. You know, how to do things differently. We're sharing with each other. So then you have this spiritual community where you're helping each other. But yeah, it's all good. And yeah, anything that happens, it's all good. It's all a good learning. Everything is teaching me to become stronger, to become better. Yeah.
Okay, one last question. I think this is the last question. In love, does one give up expectations?
Yeah, in love, there is no expectation. See, think of it technically, okay? Think of it technically. If I am full of love, okay, let's say, for example, you own a fruit plantation. You own a mango orchard, okay? You want anyone to give you mangoes? You will say, no, thank you so much. I have enough, right? So when I'm so full of love, I don't expect. I only expect that which I don't have. So I'm so full of love that, yeah. See, it's not to say we don't have nice relationships. We can have nice, harmonious relationships. But I'm not waiting for your love. Or your love is not going to make me any happier than what I am. Yeah, so yeah, there's no expectation in love. That's pure love. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, is that everything?
Yes, thank you so much. It was enlightening.
So much, everyone.
Love, love flowing, love was flowing around, and people could feel the energy of love. Thank you so much for being there and spreading the love. And thank you, all the viewers on the YouTube, on the Arabic channel, and on English Zoom as well. Hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you soon again. And you have a wonderful night and a safe days ahead. Protect yourself, be careful about whatever's happening around. Just stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.